As I was saying, today's Wednesday. So today is the Finlogix market sentiment tool. As usual, what do? We just run over through a few pairs from the market sentiment tool into Finlogix, and then if there is any trading possibility, we try to exploit that into our portfolio. Let me check if there is any new person here. No, maybe P West is a new person. I'm not too sure. So, sorry if I can't remember your name. So P West, welcome. If that's your first time, enjoy it. It's really great to have new people here. And if you have any questions, you can always send directly into the chat. If you don't feel comfortable on, maybe everyone's seen your name or anything like that, and that goes for everyone, you can just select myself, and then the question comes directly to me and doesn't go to everyone. But besides that, yeah, if you have any questions, just send it over. Try to enjoy the moment, and because it goes very quick, But yeah, okay. So as usual, I'm gonna put the risk disclaimer up. And then we'll explain a little bit later more about for P West, understand a little bit more about what's going on today. And then we should be ready to start. So we'll put the risk disclaimer up as usual. I'm going to leave it there. You guys can, and then we can start. Let me take this off. Cool. So for those who don't know, Finlogix, okay, let's just start with it, right? So what's Finlogix? Well, Finlogix is a sister company from ACY Securities. It's a charting sort of company provider. Okay, so as of ACY provide the quote and of course MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, Finlogix provide a bit extra on that. All right, so it provides the charting. It's an online charting tool. Put in this perspective, it's like TradingView. You can access anywhere around the world. You don't need to download anything, okay? And also you have a few tools like the economic calendar, for fundamental traders, have a look at the data. Earning calendar for those who trade stocks, equities. I'm not that big into equities. Market sentiment, and then the one that we're going to use today, it's the market sentiment, and then a few other stuffs here, but primarily charting tools, economic calendar, earnings calendar, and market sentiment. And then you ask me, how much do I need to pay? Well, you're going to have to pay $0 per month. Okay, so it's a free subscription, so you don't need to pay anything, and you just need to create your account. So it's very easy. I'm going to send the link into the chat in Logic, and you guys can have a look at it. And you guys can have a look on that one, and then if you want, you can create an account, and it's up to everyone's. Cool. But for today, we're going to be looking into tools and then coming into market sentiment. Just wait it to load. Okay, cool. So market sentiment is a tool that shows us where the majority of the market is positioned. Okay, so let's say that we have perfect example here, like Aussie Japanese yen. Aussie Japanese yen, the signal is a strong buy. Why? Because the majority is into the short side. See, 98% of the market is positioned into the short side, and the minority of the market is positioning into the long side. So what we want to do here is we want to try to trade with the minority. There are a few exceptions, like those first three ones. Actually, right now is 4:14, so we have around 30 seconds to pretty much change everything, because every 15 minutes it does change it gets updated. Okay, so every 15 minutes it gets updated. So in around 15 seconds we may have a few different numbers here, and we're going to be able to have a look into that. But as I was saying, there are a few exceptions. Okay, so 5 4 3 2 1 289 289. This one changed. Yeah, so the one that changed was only US dollar Japanese yen, so 39% from 35 or something like that. But those three first ones remain the same. So there are a few exceptions. So if the position is if either side, okay, so you can say that the first ones here are for long positions and those ones are for short positions. But those ones on the top, let's say if these are below 10%, like this one, 2%, 8%, 9%, then what we want to do is we want to take the opposite direction of what the market is doing. Okay. And that is because that has been going so much that it can't keep with the 2%, with the 1%, with 0%. It has to change the direction. So when there is like a very, very big percentage into only one side, that will change pretty soon. I don't know how soon, but it will change in maybe 1 day, 2 days. Just depends on how the things will go. Especially today that we're going to be having the CPI, okay? I've did a video this morning into the CPI for the USA, and a few things remain very unclear because the core CPI is expected to be higher, as of the CPI, the nominal CPI is expected to be lower. So two distinct things happening at the moment. And I guess that we may have a mixed to somewhat below the expectation for the CPI. Okay, so I don't think that will be positive for the dollar. I think that will be negative for the dollar. Okay, and that will drag the US dollar down. But let's see how it goes tonight. Cool. I think everyone understands already, but I was just doing an explanation for P West. Okay, cool. So Aussie Japanese yen. So it's saying it's strong buy, but as it below 10%, we will be looking to sell. Okay, let's go and have a look into chart. Aussie yen. See this one. So very interesting because Australian dollar is not that strong in my opinion. Okay, it was strong because of the risk on beginning of this week, but right now I don't see as a as a strong currency at the moment. It would be quite interesting to see how this will go into the next coming months. But anyway, so it saying for us to short. Well, if we just look at here, um, we are somewhere into like a resistance. No, let me take the zoom out a little bit more. If we come back, yeah, there is some sort of resistance area here, so that's not bad. The stop loss should be placed above these highs at least, and the take profit below these lows, like that. Okay, it's a good trade. I would say that would take time to play out. Okay, because it's a big move. It's maybe 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Because it's a big move, and we can see that the market is clearly trending up at the moment. Since 10 of April, but there is a chance for this reversing. So I'm just going to leave this one aside. CAD Japanese yen, same thing. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of outflow from other currencies and an inflow into Japanese yen. Yeah, so this one is looking to sell as well because it's below 10%. So let me zoom out and let's have a look at it. Okay. Yeah, well, I know this one is into a resistance because I looked at the daily chart today. So yeah, it looks great for me. I guess just for the take profit at least at 105, where it is at the moment, and the stop loss, it would have to be half of this, at least half of this, like somewhere on here. Very hard to place a stop loss when you don't have anything, you would must use the ATR, but here I think it works quite well. Again, if that changes in terms of perspective, the trade continues to be for a short scenario. If the trade continues to be for short scenario, that looks quite good. It's just a matter of we have to wait for this to play out, and then again, it's the market is. I would say it's a bit stretch at the moment, so we have to wait patiently until some setup show itself to us. Okay, but yeah, CAD Japanese yen looks quite good for me. New Zealand against the Japanese yen as well. Wow, there's a lot of Japanese yen pairs. That's very interesting. And the Japanese yen. So that one is it's still below 10%. It's on 9%. This one I would suggest something. Okay, I would suggest to keep an eye into every 50 minutes and see if we're gonna have a transition to it or not. Okay, if we have a transition to it, like in a sense of okay, it really below 10%, like 8-7%, then I would place a trade. But for now, we can have a look into it. We can have a look into it, and let me just zoom out because that looks quite good. Looks quite good for me. Yeah. So I would just leave this one aside and wait for another 8 minutes, and then we can come back and have a look into what should we do with NZD Japanese yen. For those who were here last week, we caught a short position into Euro Aussie, if I'm not wrong, on last Tuesday. What day was last Tuesday? Let me check into my calendar. Last Tuesday was last Wednesday, sorry, it was the 4th. On the 4th, we catch a nice trade there on the 4th of June. What time is it? It's 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. was somewhere around here. Yeah, so that was a take profit trade. We hit take profit on that one. So this one was here. I think we took somewhere around this blue line, and then the take profit was at 175. 75. Yeah. So we hit a take profit on this Monday, right on market open. So for those who were here, that was a good trade. Also, we had GBP AUD. That was a take profit as well. The only thing that Finlogix should be a little bit better on is having the markups still on, like Trading Voodoo. So the 4 at 4 p.m. Yeah, we took the trade somewhere around this blue line, and the take profit was somewhere around 208, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 208. Yeah, so that was a take profit as well, quite good. And then we had another position. I can't remember now, but that one was, I think, still running. It was like Aussie CAD, something like that. I forgot. I would have to have a look on that one. But anyways, so the next one would be Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is on a strong buy. One thing I want to mention, as I always do, is see, we have Aussie yen, cat yen, New Zealand dollar yen. The first one is Aussie yen, and we're looking to sell it. Okay. So we're looking to sell the Australian dollar. So it wouldn't make any sense for us to buy, to sell Euro Aussie. So that strong buy makes sense because we're selling the Australian dollar and we're buying the euro. So let's have a look on that. So right here, we are into somewhat of a consolidation area for Euro Aussie. It didn't break this bottom, but just touch it on there and then it jumps back. So what we can do is we can look to have a long position on a stop loss a little bit short. I know it's going to be a short stop loss. And the take profit should be around those highs, like here. Cool. So it still gives us a nice 1 to 2, but it just doesn't have that large stop loss. So that move is going to happen a bit quick, especially with the CPI coming out tonight. Euro gets affected pretty heavily, so just watch this trade play out, guys. Next one is GBP yen. GBP yen. Boy. So we have a strong buy on Japanese, on GBP UK against Japan. If I'm going to be honest, that doesn't make sense for our portfolio because we have Japanese yen longs already. So on this case, we would be looking to short the Japanese yen. Okay. So I wouldn't be comfortable on taking this trade. So we're just gonna leave aside. Same go for Aussie against the US dollar, and same goes for US dollar against the Japanese yen. All right. So that doesn't make quite sense for me, because if I'm shorting Aussie against the yen, basically I'm shorting the Australian dollar and I'm longing the Japanese yen. Okay. Every time you short a currency on FX, on CFD FX, what are you doing is you shorting the base, that's the first currency, and you longing the quote, that is the second currency. Therefore, you have a short position. Now, if you're longing, you're basically doing the opposite. So you long the actual first currency, that is the base, and you short the second currency, that is the quote. I wouldn't suggest from my experience, to have like a long Aussie yen and a short US dollar yen, because that's going to be, that there will be a time that those profits and losses will offset each other. So you will be permanently on break even. So you won't make money, but you probably will lose a little bit money because of the swaps. Now, there is a strategy called arbitrage, and there is another strategy called triangular arbitrage, is when you use a triple currency scenario. So you use at least 3 currencies on like a few pairs. So like you're going to use Australian dollar, Japanese yen, and the US dollar. So you can use Aussie dollar against US dollar. You can use Aussie dollar against the Japanese yen. You can use Aussie dollar. You can use US dollar against Japanese yen. You can use um, Japanese yen against Aussie. So you build pretty much that kind of figure. So it just updated again, and nothing happened here. So we're just gonna leave that one untouched. Cool. So coming back to it, and then you can make probably a bit money, but just gonna depend on the swaps and commissions from the broker. Anyway, so continue. GBP US dollar and Euro pound is neutral. So we just don't touch those ones. When it's neutral, it means there's nothing to be done. So we just wait. But if you are a little bit anxious, let's say, and you want to take the trade, you can. But just look at for the minority, where the minority is. That's going to be a very early entry, and there is definitely a possibility to be done. So go for it. Now, NZD against the USD, it's saying sell. Okay, so we have one position already into US dollar. I don't think so. So that makes quite sense. So NZD US dollar. So we're looking to sell the New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen, and we're looking to sell the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. So that makes quite sense. So NZD US dollar sell. It's going to be your next trade. Sorry. So that looks quite good. I already see a few possible scenarios. So we have short position here with a stop loss on 61 and the take profit at 59. It's quite not going to be a 1 to 2. But yeah, maybe if we put the stop loss a little bit lower, yeah, that's the maximum I can go. It's fine. It's going to be a 1 to 1.8, so that's okay. But that's a good trade. Ends at US dollar short. Okay, cool. Next one, Aussie CAD short. Aussie CAD short. Oh, okay. I don't have more charts. Let me do something here. I'm gonna probably have to just do it again. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD. Here we go again. We had a long position back a while ago in Aussie CAD, and now we're looking to short it. Okay. Yeah, that quite makes sense. Majority of the people will be looking to long at this sort of support area here. Let me teach you quite a trick here. You can put into volume, and you can see that the volume that's not the best volume. I'm going to have to use TradingView for that. Okay, so Aussie CAD is into, it's coming from this area. Oh, that's a 15-minute. Let me put into a 1 hour. It's coming back from this breakout up. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, okay, that's going to be going up, okay, because we have the resistance that was a resistance, now it's a support. Here's touch it 1, 2, 3, break it, and now it's pulling back up. Well, if you use volume, first of all, don't ever believe in someone that say that you can see the volume, okay, into Forex. You can't. But there is places you can have a look into and say like, okay, there were a big volume being placed into this position, okay, so into this area. So there are something happening on here. Okay, so basically, if you look into, that was the biggest volume here. This one was a big volume as well. This as well. This was a big volume as well. This one. And then, yeah, that was the biggest ones. After that, it's just average. So if you have a look, those areas, they line up to be exactly somewhere from here to here. Okay. So what happened was short positions, because we had these short positions. Now, the volume having red or green, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, that literally doesn't mean anything. That's just the candle color. Okay, so if you look, red candle is a red bar and then it goes like that. So don't get confused. Oh, okay, that was a long, that was a, that volume bar was a long position. No, that can't show you, because Forex, it's not only us, it's like central banks, it's retail traders, institutional traders, big companies sending money overseas. So there's nothing to do with that. No one can say how much was traded in a day, okay? So it's very hard. So the volume you should be using is, see this break here? There was literally no volume. So this break has literally no volume. So what that shows to me is that this resistance here, is that support is literally BS, because there was no people looking to buy here. There was no people to looking to buy here as well. And there was a few people trying to buy here, but then it just sort of, they don't care anymore. Okay. So this is a nice spot to sell. So yeah, a good position would be short into Aussie CAD. So, and it lines up perfectly with our sentiment tool. So if we get the short position here, stop loss, it would be very short, I know, but that's going to give us a good trade reward. So, oops, sorry. Somewhere around here, it's going to be a 1 to 2 trade. Okay. So that's quite good. I think we can leave like that and see how this goes. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD. Sorry. US dollar CAD says short as well. US dollar CAD, I wouldn't look to touch too much US dollars, because we already have one position short on Aussie dollar, right? NZ US dollar and Aussie dollar. Okay. Oh, sorry, we don't have any positions on US dollar, only NZ USD. So I wouldn't look to have too much exposure into US dollar, especially coming for the CPI. Okay. So just going to leave that one aside for now. And as soon as we have a confirmation, we actually can do something. Euro CHF is on that point, is on the tipping point of shorting or long. So it's on the 11%. So right now, I wouldn't touch this one as well, just for the sake of, if that gets updated in 5 minutes and I'm on the wrong position and that the trade has run already, that's it. I'm dead. Okay, so just leave that one aside. Let's not touch on this one. And the GBP AUD says strong sell, but there is only 1%. We are short on the Australian dollar, so there's no sense for us to long GBP AUD. Okay, so that negativates us or the portfolio. So that's pretty much it. Can you see your Aussie dollar again, please? Yes, I can. AUDUSD. AUDUSD was meant to be a long, okay? So as of we're already short on Australian dollar and there is the CPI coming up tonight, the smartest decision is to not touch the US dollar, okay? And why do I say that? Because I don't know how to trade? Well, that could be the answer. Okay, I'm not the big boy here. I'm just trying to, teach everyone and spread love, let's say. But it's too much risk, and there is no sense for us to be trading like crazy, like every day needs to be a trade, every day has to be placing trades and this and that. There's no sense for it. Okay, so this week I haven't placed any trade yet into my portfolio. So the take profit on Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie was last week, and that's it. So just have to, slow down a little bit. But let's wait and see what's going to be the CPI tonight, and we can probably do something on that, based on that. Okay. So just going over everything again. So short Aussie against the Japanese yen, short Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen, long euro against the AUD. Okay. And then we have short NZUSD. AUD CAD. So we have short AUD CAD right here. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully everyone could have a good time today. Does anyone have any questions? Let me see. Short AUG Japanese yen, yes. Someone sent me a question on what happened to the Australian and Euro indices. That was a private question. What do you have to say on Euro dollar? I'm going to be back there in a second, Switz. So what happened to the Australian and Euro indices? I don't follow the indices. I don't have much clue on what could be happening, but most likely if something happened with Australia, that's probably to do with China, and if something happens to China, has to do with USA. Okay, same goes to Europe. What do you have to say on euro dollar? Well, when we look at euro dollar has been quite a strange walk in the last couple of days. US dollar it's prone to a lot of volatility in a couple hours. Okay, so in my opinion, euro dollar can go above 1.15. Okay, but just be careful on longs. Oh, okay. I know what you mean now. They don't show in the Finlogix sentiment. Oh, okay. I will be there with you in a second. Just 1 minute. So coming back to Eurodollar, I see Eurodollar trading higher than 1.14. Okay, I see Eurodollar trading at like maybe 1.15, 16 by the end of this month. But it's just a little trick to trade this currency at the moment, because put in this way, US dollar has a lot of uncertainty going on. So I'm just not trying to have US dollars on the portfolio. And then euro is going up, but the whole economy is really bad. So all of these up moves on euro is basically built by statistical long positions and not actual long positions. You know what I mean? Because those long positions, they can be devastated very quick. So I'm just not looking to trade euro dollar at the moment. Now, coming back to a private question we had, they don't show in the Finlogix sentiment tool the indices. If you pay attention, not all the pairs appears in here. Okay, so will be the ones that have the most market sentiment. So that has the most people positioned. And at the moment, maybe US, Australia, and Europe doesn't have that many positions placed for the market. So once they have, then we may show, but that gets updated every 15 minutes. So you can see right now it's updating. See, the Dow Jones 30 has changed, and that was the only one. So indices has a bit of a more slow flow, but that's pretty much it. Cool, guys. Wow, that was a good one. Hopefully you guys could learn a few things. I will be back tomorrow on Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m. same time, and we're going to break down the CPI. Let's see how that's going to be getting out. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Have a great question. Not a problem. I will get better soon, and chat to you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.